Hi everyone, we have a fun project today. We are finally working with making our blood. So you'll need your bottle like this, and you need your little bags of little O's, the beads, and the marshmallows. And then there's something else that you'll need that I didn't give you. You'll need some red food coloring. This is what mine looks like, but you'll need some red food coloring to also help with the project. So those are the things you'll need, and we will build those in a minute. Before we work on doing our models of blood, I want to read a book to you. So let's look at this book. I need to share my screen to show you the book. And I'm just going to read part of the book. Okay, here we go. This is a section about your blood. And so, you've seen blood before, right? You've seen red blood. Let's read a little bit about blood. Blood does important work for your body. Blood contains many kinds of cells. One kind of cell is called a platelet. These help blood clot if you get cut. Platelets clump together and harden to stop blood from flowing. If clots did not form, all of your blood could just flow right out of a cut. Fun fact, one drop of blood contains about 250,000 platelets. Let's see. White blood cells, oops, I went back a page. White blood cells in your blood help keep you healthy. Viruses and bacteria can enter your blood and make you sick. White blood cells can destroy these invaders. This can keep you from getting sick. If you do get sick, your white blood cells help you get well. Now, your body has different kinds of white blood cells inside it, and some of them are ones that go out and they're trained to recognize who the invaders are and let the body know. Others are the ones that actually kind of do the fighting part. So white blood cells are really important. So your white blood cells are kind of like your body's army that help fight off the invaders, which can be germs like viruses and bacteria, sometimes a fungus. Let me see here if I can. You might need to make this a little smaller to read that part. It's covered with my screen. Okay. Blood also has red blood cells. These carry oxygen to all of the other cells in your body. Your body is made up of billions of cells. You have skin cells, bone cells, and many other kinds of cells. Each cell needs oxygen to survive. So the red blood cells carry oxygen to your body. And when your blood is oxygenated, it's a very bright red. That means it's full of oxygen. And then as it goes around and delivers the oxygen to your body, it's a darker red. Fun fact, blood can travel up to 10 miles per hour. When the body is at rest, it takes only about 8 seconds for blood to go from the heart to the brain and back again. Wow, that's really neat. 10 miles per hour. That's amazing. Okay, and so that was it. That's what we're going to learn about blood for now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you. And let's review those parts. So you have platelets, okay, and those help your blood clot. So if you get a cut and you're bleeding, those platelets help your blood become thick so you stop bleeding. Now we're going to pretend today that these beads are platelets, okay? And then you have white blood cells, and they're like the army cells of your body, right? If an invader comes in like some kind of germ, like a virus or a bacteria or a fungus, and it makes you feel ill or sick, it's the white blood cells that take care of it. Some of them recognize it, spread the word, and they come out and do different jobs to fight off the invaders. So we're going to pretend that these marshmallows are white blood cells. And then there's the red blood cells, and we'll pretend that the O cereal are the white blood cells. Okay, and so the red blood cells are the part of your body that, let me just make sure that I'm remembering this correctly. The red blood cells are the part that deliver the oxygen to all the different parts of your body. And they get oxygen from the lungs. When you breathe in, the red blood cells carry that oxygen and they're bright red. Your blood is bright red when those cells are full of oxygen. Travel throughout your body, delivering oxygen to all the different parts of your body. Now, there's something else I wanted to tell you. The red blood cells live about 4 months, okay? 4 months is how long red blood cells live. And remember, on our calendar, we track the months. So far we've had at school September and October, and we're in the month of November. So 4 of those months is about how long a red blood cell lives. The white blood cells, which we're pretending our marshmallows are, there's different types. Remember, I told you there's different types. Like some recognize the invaders, or some fight them off. They do different things. So some of them live just a few hours, and some of them can live for years. So they have different lifespans depending on what type of white blood cell they are. And platelets, which we're pretending these are the platelets. Do you remember the job of a platelet? They become really important when you get a cut. Yeah, they help your blood clot. They help your blood clot. So these are the platelets. And platelets only live about 9 days. And platelets are made by your blood's marrow, or your bone's marrow. So inside your bones, we learned where the marrow was. That's where platelets are made. That's also where red blood cells are made. Now, white blood cells are made in all different parts of your body, because sometimes if you're healthy, you have a certain amount of white blood cells. But if your body gets sick and you have an illness, your body will make more and more white blood cells to help fight off the illness. So then you'll have more. So white blood cells, some white blood cells are also made in your bone marrow, but they're also made in different organs throughout your body, like your spleen, your thymus, and your lymph nodes. And so those are different organs in different parts of your body that help with your immune system. And they also make white blood cells. So those are made in different places. So white blood cells. Okay, so we're going to work on doing the making part of this project now, which is making blood. And I'm going to do that in my kitchen. And I suggest that you also maybe do it in your kitchen, but ask your family for a spot where it would be a good place to do this, because we will be using the food coloring. And I really actually want you to have your family help you do the food coloring part, because that can be messy. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go to my kitchen for that part, and we'll meet again in just a couple minutes to do that part. Okay, so we are ready to keep going with our project. The first thing I'm going to do is I took off the lid to my bottle, and I'm going to dump out about half of my water, okay? If you've already drinking it, fill your bottle up halfway with water. And then we'll need to add some more at the end, but we just want to make sure there's not too much in there to start out with. So let's dump out half of our water. Be right back. Okay. So I just went over to the sink and I dumped out half of my water. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dye that red. So I have a gel food coloring. You might have drops, so you just need to put in some drops here for some of the gel. And then we'll shake it up to mix it all around, and you'll see what color it is and see if it's a color that you're happy with, or if you want to add more. Now this part is the red here. It's called plasma. Now plasma is the part of the blood that carries all the other cells. So that's the part that all the cells are in. Without that, there'd be nothing to carry your blood around. So because mine was a gel, I have to shake it a whole bunch. Make sure this lid is on really tight, because food coloring, food dye, can actually really stain things. So you want to be careful when you're using it. And I'm going to actually add some more to mine, because I think at the end, we might have to add some more water. So I want mine to be a pretty dark red to start out with. So I'm just adding some more here. But you want to be careful about making sure you put the cap on and Be really careful about making sure the lid is screwed on tight. Like I said, food coloring can really stain things. Okay, so I'm gonna shake mine up again. Ooh, getting pretty red. It's looking oxygenated, right? When the blood is bright red, we know it's oxygenated. Okay. I might even just add a little bit more because I'm just picturing when I put in the water at the end, if I need to, that it'll become more pinkish. So I want it to be a dark red to start out with. But remember, the dark red blood is more like the blood when it has already given up its oxygen, right? It's already delivered it. Okay, that looks pretty good for me. So there's my blood. And then let's start with our white blood cells. There's something I want to show you. I made a little picture here that you have the fewest number of white blood cells. So if you had one white blood cell, you would have 30 platelets and you would have 600 red blood cells. So remember, we'll put in the fewest amount of white blood cells. It doesn't have to be exact. We'll put in some more platelets and we'll put in the most of our red blood cells. But remember, your body, if you're sick or ill, will make more white blood cells. So then you would actually have more. So that's just an idea. We're not going to be exact when we do this, but I just wanted you to know there's the fewest white blood cells. And then there's platelets will be more than the white blood cells. And then we'll have the most of the red blood cells. So let's start with just a few white blood cells. Maybe I'm going to put like a little handful like this, like I have in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, just a little bit. These are our white blood cells going in. And you can see on the label here that it shows the white blood cells here and the marshmallow. So you'll know those are your white blood cells. Okay, then since there's more platelets than white blood cells, and I put in 8 white blood cells, I have to put in more than 8 platelets, right? So I'm going to put in, let's see, this is a lot. I know it's more than 8 because if I count out, I can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here goes 5 going in the bottle, 5 platelets. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'll just put the rest in. I know I have more than 8. So I'm going to put those up. Okay. So that was about 20. I didn't count them all exactly. It was about 20 for that. So far, and you can see it says here platelets, and there's the picture of the beads. Okay. And then so far you can see I have beads and marshmallows in there. And then it's time for the red blood cells. And we know there's the most red blood cells. There's so many more red blood cells. So I'm just going to put a whole bunch of these red blood cells in. Oops. Just put a whole bunch of these because there's way, way more red blood cells than white blood cells. You just want to put a whole, oh, mine are getting everywhere. Good thing we're in the kitchen, right? So I'm just putting those in. Oh, and I'm getting them everywhere. There's a whole bunch more. You can see when they're starting to pile up like that. You know, I might just even put in all the red blood cells because there's so many. And do you remember the jobs? Let's talk about the jobs, by the way. What's the job of the red blood cells? Yeah, to bring oxygen to the different parts of your body. Now, how about the platelets? What do the platelets do? Remember, they're really important if you get a cut. Yeah, they help your blood clot. And then how about the white blood cells? They're important if you get sick. They're kind of like your body's army or defense. Okay, so here it is filled up. I'm just going to go over to the sink real quick and I will fill, you can watch, I'm going to fill this up all the way to the tippy top. So I'm going to be really careful when I'm doing it so I don't overflow it and lose anything. There. And I've got it filled up to the top. And now I'll put, whoops, I'm going to try carefully to put my cap on without squeezing it. See what's happening as I squeezed it and a little bit of the blood got out. Then that's okay. Okay, so now I have it here and you can shake it around, turn it. These are the ingredients in my blood here float. You can see that, so they keep floating to the top. But if you turn it and twist it around, you can kind of see all those different parts. Now, can you remind me again, does your body have more red blood cells or white blood cells? Red, right? Yep. Does your body have more platelets or white blood cells? Platelets. Platelets were the beads. There's the more platelets than white blood cells. How about platelets or red blood cells? Red blood cells, right? It has the most red blood cells, and then the second most of platelets and the least of white blood cells. And then there's the plasma, which has the job of carrying all these important cells to the different parts of your body. Okay, so here's my blood in a bottle. Hope you had fun with this project, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.